So yesterday, I talked about how I use science fiction, I write science fiction, and I incorporate a lot of scientific elements in it to weave both art and science together in a way that is entertaining and educational, so that people can read science fiction but be learning and possibly interested in researching on their own time some of the concepts. So Daliona is like the first planet that was settled by humans after Earth's ecosystems collapsed, and they left Earth and went out into the stars. And so it's pretty much like the city on the hill for the rest of the planets in the embassy program now. So all these other planets are up and coming societies and terraforming their own worlds, but Daliona is pretty much the one that's the model planet in terms of nature, in terms of technology and society. Whether some planets actually agree with that or not is up for debate, but they consider themselves like how the rest should kind of be. Usually before my books, I will do a lot of research, watching documentaries, reading research and articles online, going out into nature and kind of like exploring as many habitats as I can in my local area, but also getting a feel for how they are internationally. And so then I try to just study it, learn it however I can, and then incorporate it into specific regions across all the planets so that they're all unique, but they all have like a real world, this could be something that happens in the future kind of feel. And with astronomy, with physics, I usually incorporate that into space travel. When they're just like outside looking at the stars, I make it a point to like name new constellations that not even Earth has. So kind of keep that real vibe in the story world and have it change from planet to planet. Like as they're traveling interstellar, watch how the stars kind of change with them too. So it's subtle things like that that as the story goes on, like keep happening. Living in the United States my entire life, I think probably Pittsburgh, where I went to college, was like the model of the city that I used for like the first embassy city that you see in the book series. So like I structured everything like around how Pittsburgh's layout is. But in terms of nature and such, like Oregon on the west coast of the US was definitely like my favorite to kind of go off of in terms of making the website, because I'd already written some of the books. So when I was developing new planets and stuff, like now I'm developing new ecosystems like around places that I've been that I've never gone to before, but now I see how they actually are, so I can write those into the stories as accurately as possible. Yeah, it definitely has. It's like being contained to one country for my entire life up until recently. Like now I can really get a feel for how people interact internationally and how societies like Jyväskylä and Helsinki actually are, so I can use those as inspiration for maybe cities later on in my book series that I've only speculated about now, but now I can kind of like tweak things here and there to kind of make them different across planets still, and not have it so much as a monotonous kind of feel. It went very well. I think we had a huge turnout in our symposium for itself, and I think everyone's topics were all very well related to each other and flowed smoothly through each other. And I really got to explain my process of how I do my research and how I can incorporate everything, and how science fiction in general, I think in a more contemporary kind of way, a more modern day way, almost has a responsibility to be educational in some aspects and tell a political story, tell a scientific story, like engage people through entertainment and education, because we kind of need it at this time in the world, I guess.